Hello and welcome to today's episode of Wo bin ich zu Hause, meine Heimat für Fremde. Simply put, where do I call home? My home country for foreigners. Let's meet under the rock. Let's meet in Abeokuta. Today we'll be starting our journey from Lagos, and depending on where you are in Lagos, it's about 2 hours 30 minutes to get to Abeokuta and roughly about 120 kilometers. For us, it took us 2 hours 3 minutes to get to the center. You may be asking yourself, why under the rock? Abeokuta derives its name from a historical event that happened when the Egba people sought refuge under the Olumo rock from other tribes that were attacking them. It was said to have given them shelter and helped them overcome during the tribal wars. Olumo rock is one of the tourist attractions we'll be visiting in Abeokuta, amongst other tourist attractions. Abeokuta has about 500,000 people living in the city, and it is common to come across the following ethnic groups: Egba, Ijebu, Egbado, and Yawe. Topographically, Ogun is made up of hills, rocks, and a network of rivers and lagoons running through the state. It's such a beautiful picture to see when you're driving into Ogun, the houses and the rocks, how they are actually built around the rocks. And when you're on top Olumo rock, you get a very nice view of this. You also get a beautiful view of the Ogun River. It is said that the state derives its name from the river, but I'm going to let my tour guide from Olumo Rock tell you that in his own words.
At the back here we have Ogun River, and that is where the state derives its name from. The name Ogun State after that river. And the river cut across 4 states in Southwest here, to Lagos State, Oyo, Osun, and Ondo, through the Republic of Benin, and passes to Atlantic Ocean. Before the river we are going to get to the city, we have different meaning to that word of Ogun, different interpretation. We have Ogun, that is God of hire. We have Ogun, that is war. We have Ogun, mercy. We have Ogun, inheritance of property. Another Ogun, that is figure 20 in Yoruba, like 20. We have Ogun, that is long. We have Ogun, that is sweat. And we have Ogun, that is climb, as we are climbing the road today.
Now that we know the different ways to say Ogun in the Yoruba language, let's go on ahead and check out the 5 sites we're able to visit on this trip. Olumo Rock. The name Olumo is derived from the mountain god Orisha Olumo. Olumo also means troubles and sufferings are all over. You can visit the Olumo Rock between the hours of 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. and it costs 1,000 naira per adult to visit the rock. There are 3 levels of the rock, which our tour guide took us past. Now, it is your choice if you want to go with a tour guide or not, but it is helpful because they have information on the 3 different levels. The first level, the Lisabi Garden, is named after Lisabi, a hero who is said to have helped in the peaceful establishment of Egba land. There is a festival celebrated in his honor. There are 2 trees that are interesting in the Lisabi Garden. The first one is the panseke tree. The panseke tree is thus called as it has long pods with seeds inside, and when they dry up and you shake them, they make the seke sound, and it is more like a natural rattler. The second tree in the garden that is of interest is the Dogonyaro tree. Dogonyaro in Hausa means tall boy. The name has been given because of the height. Biologically, it is called the neem tree. The Dogonyaro has medicinal values, which means if you boil the leaves of the Dogonyaro, you can drink the water to cure malaria. If you've got bad breath, according to our tour guide, you can get chewing sticks from the Dogonyaro tree to brush your teeth and clear the bad breath. So the next level that we got up to, which was quite interesting and held a lot of areas to visit, was the second level, where you have the Egba wartime hideout and also the main shrine. The Egba wartime hideout comes from the time when the Egba indigents hid for 3 years from their enemies during the war. This is also a beautiful place because you get to see one of the 5 apartments that are established back then, the grinding pots that they were using to cook. The beautiful thing about the Olumo rock is it didn't just help them hide, but it also served as a strategic viewpoint so they could go up and sight their enemies and already lay ambush before they got close to them.
So this is where they grind their pepper. These are the 6 rows I was talking about. This is where they grind their pepper and found their meat during the war. So they kept their children and their wife here while the wall of the house they're looking for the enemies. When the house side they saw enemy coming from afar, they rushed down to lay ambush and run down to this place to hid themselves. But after the war, people were asking them, you the Egbas, where did you hide yourself during the war? They answered that we hid ourselves under the rock. Under the rock or beneath the rock in Yoruba means Abeokuta. That is, if you have been to anywhere in this time you are not here, I tell you that you are not in Abeokuta. So officially today, you are welcome to Abeokuta. So a cabo. Yes, welcome. Okay. So that's their room at your back. Just move close to the room. Take a picture of the room.
Oh, it's quite there.
At the highest level, you can see almost everywhere in the city, including the Ogun River, the First Church of Nigeria, the late Moshood Abiola's family house, and the Central Mosque. I hope you enjoy your trip to Olumo Rock. Now we're off to the second place we're visiting. Join us.
So hi, we are at the Olusegun Obasanjo Presidential Library, and I'm very impressed with the artifacts room we just saw, which is right behind me. The building behind me right now is the main library building, but in the artifacts library or the artifacts room, it's really cool to see things that relate to his time in power. And that's one of the things that we're lacking in Nigeria, that we don't preserve our history, we don't pass on the history to people. And in that room, you're able to see, for example, the beetle. The beetle is a symbol that everybody knows in Nigeria as a means of transportation that was used a lot in the 70s and the 80s. And we've seen the one that Baba used to use during his time. Or even if you look at the bicycle that he used to ride, it's not uncommon to see bicycles in villages. And we're able to see the one that Baba was using to go around on his farm. And other artifacts like the tanker that was used in the Civil War to transfer soldiers, or even the first satellite that we tried to launch that fell down, and the one that is now active in 2011 under Goodluck Jonathan. So this is a good place to visit, and entrance fee if you're just doing a library tour is like 3,000. You're not allowed to take pictures inside of the main buildings, but you can take outside of the buildings. They have a photographer that can do the pictures for you as well. But we're going to explore the main building, and then afterwards I'll tell you what I see in it. But we have an amazing tour guide as well, and who's giving us all the information we need. So you get your money's worth for the 3,000. You get information. It's properly documented. You feel like the artifacts are being taken care of. It's not run down. So it's a good place to come check out to get Nigerian history. So let's go see the other building. That is like impressive. Wow. Okay. Wow. Okay, I'm just impressed with the bed soaring at the back, but we are in front of the Presidential Library, and we were actually of the opinion that it was a library so we could come in and read. And I've come to understand that before you can open your doors as a proper library, you have to stock up for 10 years. And since this place started 2017, so maybe 2027, we should be able to read the books in here. But if you look at that window there, we can see already some books that have been stocked up. And there is a bookstore. I'm hoping we'll find some interesting books on Nigerian history and Nigeria. So yeah, let's go check out what's inside. But if you hang around or come back again in 2027, you might be able to read some books in here that tell you about Nigeria and the history of Nigeria. So let's do it. Okay.
Just completed our tour of the Olusegun Obasanjo Library, the main building. The main building houses a museum with different galleries giving you insight into his childhood up until his presidential career. Now, do note that you are not allowed to take pictures or make videos inside the museum. You, however, have in-house photographers that can take a picture of you on the desk that Olusegun Obasanjo used in Aso. I'm heading over to the bookstore to pick up my copy of the picture I took, and I'm also excited to see what kind of books they have in the bookstore. In general, the complex houses different areas, starting from the Welcome Pavilion that has the artifacts room and a cinema, the main building with the museum, and the bookstore. There's also the outside area with some kind of a zoo that you can visit. It's really a good place to spend a few hours if you're in Abeokuta.
Okay, hi. So we are standing at the Egba Alake, which is the palace of the Alake of Egba land. The structure behind us is the older structure built with mud, and today it's actually just used as a room for hearing civil cases based on the traditional laws. That means they handle marriage disputes, they handle land disputes, they handle other cases that have to do with the community in here. Otherwise, the current Alake of Egba land has built another palace behind this one where he lives. If we come in a bit closer, I'm going to show you some of the relics that you can find here. So what they've really done is renovate this place in 2018. So a lot of the paintings that we're seeing or the decoration we're seeing on the wall has been redone for a celebration they had in 2018. And I'm particularly interested in this figure in here because it tells us who the first Alake of Egba land is, and also a very high influential god in the Egba history. So right now this is the picture of the first Alake of Egba land, Oba Kene I, from 1854 to 1862. And right here we've got the first woman of Egba land, and that's Tinubu. And next to Tinubu is the god of war, the highest god that they have. So this is a monument that actually brings you closer to the tradition. What we also see on the wall are the games that they like to play, very commonly across the Yoruba land. It's called Ayo. This is Ayo, and it's played across several states in Yoruba land. And
the Centenary Hall. The Centenary Hall was built in 1950 to commemorate the peaceful existence of the Egba people in Abeokuta. It is located across the palace. Upon arriving and entering the Centenary Hall, you immediately see the large open sitting area with the high ceiling. What I love about this part of the hall is that along the walls you will see paintings of old and current paramount rulers of Egba land. When you head towards the stage, right beside it you have a staircase going up to the gallery area, from which you have an amazing view of the lower part of the hall. There are other rooms attached to the hall, and we had a tour guide explain briefly to us what the rooms were for. Now, one of the things I would wish is that this place would be better managed so that when you come up you have more information and it's a bit more organized with the tour. But otherwise, if you're in Abeokuta, you should definitely visit it. The family home of Fela Kuti, where he lived with his parents and his siblings. Whilst I didn't know much about the family before I went there, I was really surprised to find out that Fumilayo Anibola Kuti, Fela's mom, was the first woman to drive a car in Nigeria. The museum gives an introduction to the family tree and the achievements of one of the notable and important families in Nigeria. So all the Fela fans out there, this is a place you definitely have to visit. If you're also interested in the impact women have played in shaping their societies and communities, there is a room and an area dedicated to this, so it's also great to look out for this. That sums up our visit to Abeokuta. So thank you very much for watching. Yours truly, Liesl81.